As far as talent,
Yes.
well, I think he's played well. I think he's been pretty active. He's defended ball screens better. I thought he was terrific against Iowa State in that regard. He's going after the ball. I think he's playing. I think he's playing pretty well. So I hope we're going to need a big game out of him, obviously tomorrow. But we'll need one out of everybody to keep Baylor off the glass.
Do you feel like he's made big strides as a rim protector, and if so, why do you think that is?
Well, I just think he's probably more alert defensively, and certainly seems to be going after the ball more. His activity level's higher. I think conditioning plays a big role in that, and he seems more explosive to me.
Bill, can you talk about this team's defensive mentality and what you see on the court? And are they kind of living up to the standards that some of your early great defensive teams were able to
I think we're pretty solid defensively. We're going to play a team tomorrow that hangs their hat on it every bit as much as we do in Baylor. But I think that we can defend all 5 spots for the most part. People have picked on us a little bit in certain ways because they played to us playing big and maybe taking some advantages of shooting the 3 against us. But for the most part, I think we got a pretty tough mindset. I think we're pretty prideful, and certainly we're not there yet. But we seem to be more connected defensively than I know last year's team was. Now the year before that, when we had Josh and Frank and Devontae and those guys, it seemed like to me we were pretty connected as well. A couple years before that, but this is the best defensive team we've had in a couple of years. So.
Did you vote Baylor #1 preseason?
I really don't remember, but I'm sure I did. Yeah, I'll say I did, even if I did. No, but I actually did. I think I voted. I'd have to go back, but we do that back in the summer or whatever.
No, I was just curious why, if that's what you did, or you put them high, obviously. Either
well,
way.
the best to me, when I do that, and I think what most coaches probably do, it's based on who's returning as much as anything. And I think Butler, last year at the end of the season was as good as any guard in our league, and they're playing without a 100% healthy Clark right now, and he's starting to play more, and he's obviously getting his health back, which you hope that for the guy. But he's good. I mean, he was arguably as good as big as we had in our league last year when he got hurt, but I'm a fan of their personnel, and the guard out front from Auburn has certainly made it different for them from a defensive standpoint. I think he's probably the personality of a team defensively for them every bit as much as Marcus is for us.
It was right before the game against Baylor down in Waco last year where Clark was announced that he was out. What difference does he make when he is on the floor for them?
Well, when last year, obviously, it took away their low post presence. He was scoring the ball, and he's also a big body, and Gillespie came in and has turned out to be fabulous. But I mean, it gives you 10 fouls instead of 5. I mean, there's a lot of things, and they got a guy that doesn't play as much. Thamba, is that right? That doesn't play as much this year. That last year was a big part of their team. I mean, they're deep up front, but certainly Clark is, when he's healthy, he's one of the best 5 players in our league. At least he showed that last year. But still, the strength of their team are their 4 guards. Those 4 guards playing those 3 spots. That'll be the best group of guards collectively we play against this year. I think, regardless of who we play or when we play them. I don't think we'll go against a quartet of guards better than those that can all get their own off the bounce and can all score the ball.
You mentioned the Baylor's defense too. I mean, is this the best you've seen the league defensively, top to bottom?
Yeah, I think it is. They're really good defensively. I think we're pretty good defensively. I think West Virginia's terrific. Obviously Texas Tech's numbers are off the charts, and those are the ones I'm most familiar with because that's we just those are I just scouted the Baylor Texas Tech game, and we just played West Virginia, so I'm not as familiar with everybody else as far as studying them in the league. But I also wonder if it's also not part of the national norm too, with shooting percentages and those sorts of things as well. But the thing about it is with West Virginia and now Baylor scouting them is they don't let you run your stuff. Where a lot of times from a shooting percentage standpoint, you think about, well, they guard your actions and they make the right guys shoot it or that kind of stuff. No, they just guard. So I think you could make a case that our league, although I hadn't studied all the leagues out there, but our league is probably about as good defensively as any league out there.
I think you mentioned this a while ago. No zone. I mean, is that weird for you to see them playing as little?
Well,
as they are?
they played zone at game point against Texas Tech. I think they went zone with 3-something left or something like that, and played a couple of 3 possessions, I believe. But it is unique to see, but it's still something you got to prepare for. But you look at it, they've always had the unbelievable length on the wings, and this year when Vidal, who's probably the best offensive rebounder in our league, he's 6'5", and then you're playing with 3 guards the vast majority of the time that are all under 6'3", 6'4". It doesn't have the same length, and I'm sure that's a reason why they haven't done this much.
What do you think of the magnitude of this game early, number 3 versus 4, early in the schedule?
Oh, I think it's great. I could be wrong, but wasn't there a 2 versus 3 with Baylor once before, early in January? Excuse me?
1 and 2 of them.
Yeah. So
Top 5 matchup.
we've had, this is our second, or we've already had 2 prior. So this is not that unusual for us playing Baylor early in the conference play. It seems like it's weird to me though, and I'm not certainly I'm just thinking out loud, but every time we play Baylor, we play them at home first. Every time we play Iowa State, we play them on the road first. It's so this has kind of been a consistent theme with us playing Baylor in the second or third or fourth game at home over time, and they're good. The only thing that of course you can't control this. I hope weather allows the fans to enjoy it as much as getting a chance to watch 2 really, really good teams play tomorrow.
Are you seeing improved execution on offensive set plays from your guys?
On set plays, I think that we're better running plays when we have 2 bigs in the game. I do, because then you can space them a certain way where they're away from each other. But it's still not great. But I do think we're better. But we've never played that way. Never run a play after a miss. And so, but we did against Iowa State. That's about the most I can remember running plays in a long time.
Another comment about Christian. You said in Ames that he's kind of moved ahead. He's also mentioned, Christian has mentioned he's kind of patterned or what he wants to do after Marcus. Do you see a little Marcus in Christian?
No. I see a toughness stuff, but from a defensive anticipation, I mean, not yet. I mean, I get a kick out of what guys say sometimes and what they come up with. But Marcus would be a great player for him to try to pattern himself after defensively without question. But Christian is still not a guy that can gamble and miss and still get back and stuff like that. He's Christian, what he's doing at least the last several games, and he's done it all year long. I just didn't give him as much of a chance to play. He's played very solid, good team ball. That's it. That's what he does. And if you shoot it if you're open. You pass it if you're not. You guard your man. You try to steal extra possessions, and that's what he has done really well. And now that he's gotten more comfortable doing that, you've seen him start to try to get his own shot off the bounce a little bit and do some different things, which is very, very positive. So I think he's thinking the right thoughts, and so. But I don't see a huge similarity in those two. But I do think if he's trying to have that same mindset as him defensively, that would obviously be something we'd like all our players to have.
You're probably aware that Baylor has never won at Allen Fieldhouse.
I don't know how many times they played here. We haven't played them that many times, have we? Home and home. Because well, that there's a lot of teams that hadn't won in Allen Fieldhouse. So
What struck you about their win at Lubbock?
they controlled the game from start to finish. I mean, they made Tech. I mean, the score was 57-52, wasn't it? It was a war. It was every free throw, the importance is magnified. Every possession is magnified. You miss a layup, you wonder if you can get it back as far as the easy shot. So I was impressed with the win totally, but Tech's great defensively, and it was two great defensive teams going against each other that basically came down to the last couple of minutes, and Baylor had enough of a cushion that they were able to withstand Ramsey and stuff making some shots. But the poise and stuff to win in that building. I watched that game, and I told the person I was watching it with, I can't remember which assistant it was, Tech's fans never sat down. I mean, you got 17,000 people. They never sit down, and to go into an environment like that and control it from start to finish, that showed a lot of poise.
Is Marcus going to be 100%?
I don't know. I honestly don't. We didn't practice yesterday. We just watched tape and walked through. So he didn't push it at all yesterday, but. I can't imagine him not getting jacked up to play and adrenaline taking over.
I know you haven't scouted him yet, but along with the expected powers that you mentioned earlier, TCU and Oklahoma has opened up undefeated. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it just goes to show you how the games. TCU wins a game that Iowa State could have easily won. And then they go win at K-State by 2, if I'm not mistaken. I could be off on that. So winning games decided by 5 points will be what determines the league. Oklahoma beat K-State in a game which K-State played very well in, if I'm not mistaken, and OU played great down the stretch. And then the game at Texas, the little bit that I saw, it looked like to me it was a lot like the Tech Baylor game. I mean, Oklahoma kind of controlled it, even though the score was relatively tight. They controlled it basically from start to finish. So, Texas got off early, and then Oklahoma came back after halftime, so they controlled it then. But league's good. League's good, and we're happy to be off to a 2-0 start, but we're not any better off than West Virginia. Because West Virginia got a road win, and certainly you would think that Baylor's in the best position after 2 games because they've already won at a place that few people are going to win at. But it's so early, but it's going to be a great race.